There are three little simple things. Stick it out, work it out, follow it through. Stick it out, stick it out. God can't help folks that want to quit at the first sign of trouble. You got to have some tenacity, some pertinacity. And stick to it, stick to it, stick it out, stick it out, stick it out, work it out, work it out. Touch your neighbor, say work it out. Don't just try to jump out of your situation, learn to work it out. You need to learn a conflict resolution. You got to work out some things. You're going to have some issues in your marriage. You're going to have to learn how to work it out. You're going to have some issues with your children. You can't keep running from it. You got to work it out. You can't always just divorce stuff and run away. You got to learn to work it out. He who fights and runs away will come to fight another day. Learn to work it out. Work it out. Work it out so you don't have to come back to that same thing. And then follow it through. Follow it through. Follow it through. Follow it through. This is about reviewing. You review what God has already done in your past. Review. When you review, that's a part of reflection. You always do reflection before you do projection. Say reflection. Say projection. You have to review to see where you've been, to now glance over this way. He's the God who was, who is, and who is to come. So God, with one swoop, he looks back to where he's been in review. He takes reflection, and then he turns your head a different direction and gives you projection. God says, this is where you came from, but here's where you're going. He's going to project you into a brand new place. There has to be review, and then I'm glad that there is resolve. Resolve, say resolve. When you don't learn resolve, you end up jumping out of one relationship, finding that same issue because you never learned to resolve it in your previous one, and you jump out of the frying pan and into the skillet. Have you ever wondered why sometimes you end up going from one relationship to another and they are essentially the same kind of person? That women who gravitate to men who are abusers will jump from one abusive relationship into another. I wonder why, because they never learn how to resolve it. So there is review, there is resolve. You got to look back and see the insanity of what I've been doing, and then you got to come to a place of resolve. And then the third one, if you ever learn to follow it through, is reward. Oh, you get a reward when you stick to that thing and when you follow it through. Did you know that there's a reward of following through your education and you walk down and get your degree? Did you know that there is a reward of graduation? My God, you ought to have a stick to it. This is to say, you know what? If I dropped out of school, go back and finish it. You don't get the reward if you quit too soon. You don't get the reward if you quit too soon. Finish your course. Finish your assignment, and there is a reward down at the end of the tunnel.